And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today, we're going to be talking about the injury updates around the Washington Commanders and then also to the New Orleans Saints. I think that there are some injuries that could certainly impact this game. We're also going to be talking about the playoff status right now for the Washington Commanders and what that looks like. And so let's start with the news around Marshon Lattimore. And will he play for the Washington Commanders? That is the question. So based off these reports from Dan Quinn going into the bye week, it certainly looks like that Marshon Lattimore is trending towards playing for the Washington Commanders. And so we haven't gone through the full week. We haven't, gotten closer to the game just yet. So we'll find out some more this week. But if you listen to some of what Dan Quinn has been saying in the press conferences, and this right here is some of the quotes that we got from that, but he's talking about that now Marshon Lattimore has been getting to a lot more top end speed. So his top speed running has been there with some of the work that they're doing. And also, too, I think a key out of this now is the change of direction. And so that is a good sign as well. And he's saying that they have set, these barriers and these markers. And it looks like that Marshon Lattimore has done a great job as far as meeting those. And so, again, we still have to find out what's going to happen this week, but it looks like he is trending to play for the Washington Commanders. And I think that that is going to be huge, considering that he, played for the Saints for the vast majority of his career. Obviously, he started there, he's been there, and now he's traded to the Washington Commanders. And so I'm pretty sure, it's going to be an emotional game for him coming back as a visitor. And so I think that getting Marshon Lattimore is going to help the defense, not just in the secondary, but I think he's going to help the front of the Washington Commanders. Up front, I think that now, with our defensive linemen, our linebackers and things like that, I think that there is going to be maybe an added bonus by getting pressure. I feel like if you're able to get pressure, if Marshon Lattimore is, back to being an elite corner after this injury, I think if you're able to get enough pressure, there's a possibility that you could get a quarterback to throw an interception. And I think that that is got to be something that this defense has got to be excited about now, knowing that if you can just generate some more pressure, you have a secondary or you have a player in the secondary that can make some huge plays there. And then, there's the added factor in the secondary. Like if Marshon Lattimore is able to shut down an entire field, I mean, that's going to limit any offense's playbook. So that's going to help the Washington Commanders. And then the experience that we're going to get from Marshon Lattimore, I think that that translates a lot to Mikey Sanders still and some of these younger players out there. And so getting him on the field is going to help this team in just a lot of different areas out there. And so hopefully the Washington Commanders get him. I think that this is going to be a huge, huge update for the Commanders if they can get him back. And so next up, looking at the New Orleans Saints. And so I think we have some key injury news with them. And so with the Saints in this last game, Derek Carr, he actually suffered a fractured left hand. And so that right there, they're listing him as a week to week. They haven't shut him down or anything like that. It's not looking good for Derek Carr. I think he's also got a concussion as well. And so with that being said, now the Saints are probably going to be either going with their rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler, or they're going to have to go with Jake Harner as their quarterback. And I think that if I'm looking at this, just looking at Spencer Rattler and looking at some of his games that he's had in college, he once started over Caleb Williams in his college career. So he was good enough to be the starter there. Then he transferred, but he's done some good things there. And he's also done some good things as far as once he's gotten to the pros. I think that he's done some things in the preseason. I think he's done a great job as far as getting out there for the Saints, even though they've lost 3 games that he started. But he's a dynamic quarterback. But he's not Derek Carr. And so I think that there is an advantage to the Commanders with either quarterback that the Saints play. Rattler has completed 59 of 99 passes for 571 yards with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions here. And so, again, they've lost all 3 games. He was sacked 14 times in those starts. And so that suggests that, for the Commanders, a defense that has been heating up, I think that they have a chance to really get home to these quarterbacks And I think that this is a game certainly that can really shift in the Commanders' favors. And I think that they're going to need that. And so next, I want to go into just the playoffs and the status and what that is looking like for the Commanders currently. Because right now, the Commanders are sitting seventh. You have the Detroit Lions, who are the first seed. You have the Eagles, who are second, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, and then the Washington Commanders here. So, and just to let you know, just what it's looking like as far as the NFC East right now, the Eagles, they're 11-2. The Commanders are at 8-5, and so it would take a slide for the Eagles, and then just the Washington Commanders to get hot to maybe get a chance here to maybe get that division, but either way, I think that the Commanders are in a good position. They've got to continue to win some football games. And when we look at the schedule this week, it's going to be favorable. And some of these games could really impact the Commanders because you've got the Los Angeles Rams, who are in the hunt. The Atlanta Falcons are in the hunt. The Arizona Cardinals. You got the San Francisco 49ers. And out of those teams in the hunt, the team that really, I think, has been, really on a heater right now, it's the Los Angeles Rams. And I knew that once they didn't trade, their wide receivers and things like that, I knew that they were probably going to go all in. And that's exactly what they've done. And they've really put it together. They're trying to make a run. And so they're hot. But the Atlanta Falcons have slipped. Kirk Cousins has really struggled with the interceptions, the Arizona Cardinals, the inconsistency there. The 49ers, I mean, they just cannot stay healthy. And so the Commanders are in a good spot. And with the Rams surging, they do play the San Francisco 49ers. And so they did win this last game against the Bears. And I mean, with the San Francisco 49ers still in it, they're going to give the Rams, I think, a good game. I think that it's always tough when you're talking about divisional games. And so I'd expect for this game to be a challenging game, for the Rams. And then when you look at the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots, I mean, that's a game where you would think that the Cardinals would win this one. Maybe New England does us a favor here and gets the win. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, look, they have struggled with Baker Mayfield, and the defense has just really struggled. Baker Mayfield has kind of cooled down a little bit, but going against that Chargers team, that is a tough defense. They are going to have Justin Herbert out there, and so that is a game that is very winnable for the Chargers. It could go either way, but I think that is going to be a tough game like the Rams and the 49ers game. The Green Bay Packers game against the Seahawks, that's always going to be challenging here. And I think that that's going to be a good game because Geno Smith has actually played very well. Not very much has been said about that, but Geno Smith has come back. He's playing very good this year for the Seahawks. And so I think that that's a very winnable game. That helps us. And then the Falcons and the Raiders. Look, the Raiders have been really challenged this year. And so, but I just said that the Falcons have struggled here. And so this just gives you really just the outlook of where the Commanders are. And I think the bottom line here is that the Commanders really, they're controlling their own destiny. They just have to go out there and take care of business. We need to get this game against the Saints. We cannot play down to this team. And so hopefully the Commanders go out there and take care of business. But currently right now, at the time of this, we are seventh in the playoff or seedings. Yeah, so seven. So hopefully they can move up with some losses. So with that being said, this is the Washington Commanders Insider. Let me know in the comments what you think about this news with Marshon Lattimore, the injury report with the Saints. What do you think about this playoff seedings going on with the Washington Commanders? Look, can they come back? Can they get a higher seed? We'd love to know what your thoughts are. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.